but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Negativity getting out the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like you've been trying to help us. We sit and bringing life to the dream. That's all we hear. Ruthie, there's Abby, and she's so, yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. Ooh, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. OJ, keep speaking for us.
All right, guys, welcome. Welcome, guys. I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty on. All right, so I'm having a little bit of a difficulty here with the. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my live. Welcome. Thank you guys for. I'm trying to see why we're not showing. Okay, stop calm and okay. All right, we're live. That's all that matters. I'm hoping that you guys can see me. The screen is blank. This is not good. The screen is blank. And yes. Guys, give me a minute. Let me sort this out. This is definitely not a lot of technical difficulties tonight, and it happens all the time. So y'all just bear with me. Let me quickly resolve this issue, and I will be right back. So yes, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back, guys. I'm so excited. Sorry for the slight delay. It was just a weird technical glitch and the screen was black. And I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on here? All right, so what is going on here is the fact that we're here on a Wednesday live with Dr. O. Dr. Shala, good evening, sir. Oh, this has been a very interesting evening. I had a slight technical glitch and I had to quickly fix it, and it's fixed. And we are back on live, and we are here on all social media platforms, guys. I am live on every social media platform. We're on YouTube, so if you want to watch me on YouTube, run over to my YouTube channel, Dr. OJ Speaks. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on there as well. My LinkedIn folks were like, okay, you need to bring the live on there. So I was like, let's figure out a way to be omnipresent once a week where we can show up in everybody's face all over the place at once. And I was like, is that even a possibility? But guess what? We made it happen. Welcome back to my Wednesday live, guys. We started off a little bit jumpy. Well, not really. Technology can be very, very funny. And that's the thing, we're doing a live show. You never know what to expect with technology. It just does what it does, and you have absolutely nothing to do or nothing to say. So glad we fixed that. I'm back on here. Everyone can see me. So that's good. Welcome back, guys. So this Wednesday night, we're going to be talking about persist until you succeed. How to persist until you actually succeed. And I love to tell you stories. So I'm going to tell you a very amazing story. It has a happy ending, by the way. But the good thing about it is anything that I share on my social media, honestly, the reality is you can always fact check it. It is like my living, breathing experience. It is what I go through every day. I have an experience, I learn from it, I grow from it, and then I bring it and pay it forward so that I can hopefully help somebody to save some time, save some money, save some energy, whatever. That's the reason why I do this. So this is part of the I want to say this is part of my purpose. And outside of everything that I do for work, being able to come out here, share my experiences, and hopefully give you guys some teachable moments from it is always a blessing for me. So I'm working on my business for several years, many years, and you get into a space where you know that you're really called to be an entrepreneur, right? How many of us can relate to that journey where you're called to be an entrepreneur and you have all these hopes, you have these dreams, you visualize how your business is going to run, how everything is going to go, and how things are going to turn out and play out, and you jump in with that enthusiasm, with that excitement, and then reality sets in. So 4 years ago, this little girl just decided, okay, she was going to jump all in and start her business. And it was such a really, really good idea because, I mean, everybody who knows me knows how hard I work. That's the one thing they'll say, oh, you work really hard. Hi, Sunday. How are you? Hey, Getty Glows. How are you? Thank you for joining me. So, guys, I'm going to take a moment to really appreciate people that are joining and following. So please bear with me as I tell this story. I see you guys. I see everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for the love. And then, everything starts off and it's so promising. And you get all of these things. You spend all this money. Hey, DJ, how are you, sir? Thank you for joining me. And you start your journey with the hope of definitely being profitable while you add value. But little did I know that the journey that was ahead of me was not going to be as smooth as I had envisioned, as I had played out in my head. So first year we start the business. We set up a beautiful location. It's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the love. And everything looks so good. And then as the months went by, I quickly realized that just because I thought I had something amazing to offer, it didn't mean that people were automatically going to show up. And I was like, okay, so what do I do to get people to show up? What do I do to get the attention of folks? Hi, Inelli, thanks for joining me. What do I do to get their attention, to show them that what I have is an amazing value that could really benefit them? And I started to learn all these amazing strategies. I started to position myself in all these places. I started to do so much to push my business forward. But the harder I tried, the more difficult it became. And then I got to a point by the end of year 2 where the business was not making any money at all. Like literally, it wasn't making any money. I was in a billion-dollar industry. At least that's what Forbes magazine said. Hi, how are you? Thank you, TJ. I was in a billion-dollar industry, but I'm like, okay, where's my little piece of the pie? How can I get my little piece of the pie? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Guys, you want to share this video because what I'm trying to talk to us about tonight is the story of persistence. Persist until you succeed. Are you able to stay the course? Are you able to stay true to the mission that you've set out for yourself from the beginning, even when it looks so bleak, even when it looks like you're going to fail, even when failure actually happens? One of the things that I learned is successful people are never afraid to fail. The people who are most successful in life, they are the people who have never, at least not that they've never been afraid, but they've conquered their fear of failure. And it's like, okay, when failure happens, they embrace it, they keep it moving, and they just figure out another way to get back in the game. So year two, my business was facing shutdown, closed down, lockdown. It was like I was gonna have to close my doors. I had to move out of my location, and this was a location that, whoo, when you talk about blood, sweat, and tears, think about when you set up a business with blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And I'm not saying this figuratively. This is a literal expression of what happened. It was me setting up that location, pulling money together, having my friend walk on the floors, paint the walls, do so many things just to get a beautiful facility together to serve customers. But the customers were not coming. Hi, Sulele, how are you, darling? Thanks for joining me. And I had to come to the realization that, okay, this is not working. And I could no longer push or force the process. I had to concede to what we call failure. But at the time, it was temporary failure. I thought it was permanent because God knows that when I had to close the doors to that business, guys, listen, I cried. Imagine mourning the death of a child or the death of something or someone. I don't want to say something because it's not something, it's someone you love, like a living, breathing being. I cried like a baby. Like I cried my eyes out. I was packing and I got my friends from church. I got people to come help me move. I hired a U-Haul and everything. I was crying. As they were moving everything, I was crying. As I picked up, as they were putting down all my decorations, I was looking at the laminate flooring that I invested so much money that I could not even take the flooring with me. I could not take the flooring with me because the building did not belong to me. It was a lease. So I had invested so much money updating that suite, making it nice and beautiful for the next occupant. Whoever was going to move in there was definitely going to have a very nice spot to run their business in. I'm going to actually drive by there sometime to just see who is in that space right now and to see what they're doing with the space and how it's working out for them. But I digress. So when I cried and things, I did not know what God had for me right around the corner, because all the hard work that I had put in was actually paying off, but I hadn't seen the results. So this is where I stop in the story to tell you, never stop short of your blessing. Some people start digging the well. There's a book that I'm reading, Think and Grow Rich, and there's a part in the book where there's a story of a father and a son who kind of were digging for gold. They got they were digging for gold pretty much. And because they could not get to it, and it felt like they were not going to ever get to it. But little did they know that they were only 3 feet away from the gold. And they gave up. And then as soon as they gave up, the person who went back in after them reaped all of the amazing benefits of that gold mine. Are you guys tracking with me? So please, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tough the road is, keep going, because you could just be about 3 feet away from your gold. You could be about 3 feet away from your gold mine. So let me continue the story. So everything that I was already doing, it was working, but I hadn't seen the results. But God was trying to reposition me in another place in order for me to really begin to gain the traction that I needed. He was trying to put me right in front of the people who could help push my business forward. And it was like the week after, or the week of that move, when I kind of closed down and I was crying and I was mourning and I was spending a few days at Starbucks because that was the only office I had at the time. Hi, Funke, how are you? Persist? Yes, you persist before you achieve. And I was spending my days at Starbucks and I got this call. And the call I got was the call that actually transitioned my business from having no home about a week after we shut down to having a brand new home in a medical facility. So while shutting down the business seemed like I had failed, because I really felt like I had failed myself. I felt like after all of this investment, I had done everything I knew how to do, yet it seemed like nothing came out of it. God came through for me. Because even while I was crying and I was sad and I was sorrowful, I woke up every single day. Here's what I did, guys. I woke up every single day. After my business shut down, I got dressed early in the morning. I never stayed in bed. I had my pity party going on. I had my mental, I guess my mental stress. I had the situation where I was kind of like just really down and out on myself, but I did not stay in bed. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch myself wither away in bed, feeling sad, like I don't have anything else to do. At least if I didn't have an office to go to, I still had Starbucks. Starbucks was so good to me in those years. Hey, Leonard, how are you? So I would show up at Starbucks literally early in the morning, 7 o'clock, just like someone going to work. Like everyone is going to work, coming in and getting their coffee to get in their car to go to their offices. Dr. O was sitting. I would just go in there, get my little table spot in the corner, order maybe like a tea or coffee or whatever that I would slowly sip on throughout the day. That's what you do now when you don't have money, when you're like broke, when you're a business person who's struggling. You buy one drink and you make it last. You stretch it. I would stretch that cup of coffee because I would get a cup of coffee, a grande, and I would get a venti water, like the biggest size of their water. Yeah. So I had my coffee, I had my water. So if anybody ever came and was like, what's this woman doing here? Maybe I was there for like an extended period of time because I was there for the whole day. Like my 9 to 5 was Starbucks with my computer and my journals. So I was resuming back at Starbucks because even before I opened up my business, while I was still kind of scouting out locations and trying to put everything in place and taking all these trainings and certifications. Hi, it's Danaya. How are you? Starbucks was where I would go every morning to do all of those things. I didn't have an office. So there I was after I had been to Starbucks, started the business, launched the business, opened the location, shut down the location. Now I was back to Starbucks. How many people ever, do you ever see, sometimes God will take you so high? And sometimes it will feel like you've gone so high and you are right back to where you started from. You're right back to where you started from. Whenever you find yourself in those situations, guys, it's not because you have failed, because oftentimes we can look at that. At the time I looked at it and I accounted it like, this is absolute failure. Who do I tell? I started from here. Now I'm back here. I thought you were supposed to go higher and higher, make progress. Even if you're not going fast enough, at least you're making progress. But sometimes when you go forward and you have to come back, it usually means several things. It means you either have to learn some lessons that you did not learn while you were in that place. One. Two, it also means, or probably, God is protecting you for something more dire that could hurt you bigger than you shutting down that business in the future. But I believe that for me, the lesson was God was protecting me. Because it only took a week for him to reposition the business to where it's at right now. And while I was even in the midst of that pain and the pain of the loss, and I was looking at myself like, I can't even tell anybody this is going on. I can't even share this with anybody. People would laugh at me. There are people who are already waiting for you to fail. And once they hear the story of something like that happening to you, you already know that you're going to be the talk of the town. But does it really matter though? But it matters to us a lot of times, because I'm not going to lie to you that it didn't bother me. It bothered me. I was really worried. I was like, when people find out my business has shut down, I'm going to look like a joke. I'm going to look like a joke. And sometimes that pushes us to make decisions and make choices that are even more detrimental to the progress that we're trying to make. So while you're busy worrying about what people think or what people are going to say, I'm going to encourage you, as I continue to tell this story, to stop. Because a lot of times it doesn't really matter. Because even in that moment when I was so worried about what people were going to say, the people who truly cared about me, the people who truly mattered to me at the time, they rallied around me and they came in to offer support. They came in to tell me it was going to be okay. They always showed up to let me know, look, this has happened, but don't worry. Your comeback is going to be bigger than your whatever this was. I had people who were showing up for me. So don't worry when you are in your lowest moments and you feel like people are going to make fun of you and you don't know what you're going to do. Keep your head up. Because one thing I know for sure is there are people in your life who truly, truly care about you. The people that matter, they don't care whether you failed in business or whether you succeeded in business. The people who don't matter, yes, they're going to talk about you. Yes, they're going to laugh at you. Yes, they're going to say all kinds of things. But the only thing that keeps you in that position is if you yourself stop and you give up. One thing I never did was stop or give up. I showed up at Starbucks 7 o'clock every single day. In fact, it took my mother like about a week or so to find out this was going on. And she was like, what's happening? Are you not going to work this week? This and this. And after a couple of days, I couldn't fake it. I couldn't lie to her anymore because she lives with me, right? So she knows, if I'm going to show up to work or not. She knows what the regular mode of operation is. So I had to tell her that, look, this thing has shut down and I don't know what the next move is, but I'm trusting God. Yeah, she was brokenhearted to see her daughter broken, but she was there to encourage me. I had a few friends at the time who were there to lift me up and uplift and encourage me. So when this new opportunity came in, I was like, oh my God. But it also looked like a demotion at the time. Sometimes God has to take you through certain pathways in order to build up your capacity for more. So for you to persist in order to succeed, it really helps when you see gradual progress happens. But what happens when there is no progress at all? Some people lose businesses and it takes them years to get it back. Some people lose jobs and it takes them years to get back into the position of working again. What do you do in that space of time? I'm going to ask you to do the only thing you know how to do. To be steadfast and to focus on just working on yourself in the meantime. I'm going to tell you that while I was waiting and while things seemed to be going up and down for me in business, I spent the time focusing on developing myself. I had to figure out what was it that I could have done to avoid the loss. Nothing. To be quite honest, now I look at it, nothing. But then again, being in business for a while now, I see certain things that I could have taken the time to learn and put in place. And certain things that I could have taken advantage of that were already available, but my business was not positioned to take advantage of those things. So I had so much to learn. I had not built up what was necessary to sustain my business through the hard times. But now I know better. Now I have systems in place that is allowing me to ensure that my business never has to go through that again. To ensure that I have access to everything that I need to successfully run, scale, build, and develop my business. Those are some of the things that I'm learning right now, and I'm taking the time to teach people. And I teach this in my Business of Beauty Masterclass. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from our sponsors, and I'll be back to complete this story. Persist until you succeed, because that's the only option you have to give yourself. I'll be right back, guys. My name is Dr. Oyikosola Jinadu. I'm a beauty professional, med spa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it is important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent med spa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you. All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much. That was HD Pro Global, our sponsors for tonight's episode. If you would like to sponsor and advertise your brand, you have the opportunity to get with us, and we'll definitely be able to put you out there to the world on all social media platforms. Like tonight, we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We are everywhere, guys. So definitely partner, connect with us, and let us help you grow your brand. All right, guys. So persisting until you succeed. It's very critical for you to do that. So now, fast forward, we moved the business in, and we're now in 2022. And I can tell you a lot of accolades and things that we have done. Even in the midst of the trouble, the turmoil, we have successfully launched about 8 training programs, beauty training programs. We have successfully trained and certified over 100 students from HD Pro Global Beauty Institute. And we are currently in the process of establishing HD Pro Global Beauty Career Institute and Body Med Spa as a collective to offering value through education and services that transform lives and income in 90 days or less. We have successfully served and continue to serve clients, and they're growing by the numbers every day. As of today, I think we have over 700 on our, we have over 900 people on our email list. And about 700 of those have gone through our services. And the other ones are growing through networking and just connecting with folks and adding them onto our email list every day. We're building systems that allows us to stay consistent with our branding. We're growing our team. It hasn't been easy. Trust me, it's not easy. For the longest time, I was a solopreneur. But I had to learn that, okay, I could not do it alone. I had to build a team around myself. So we are doing all of the things that we need to do to continue to elevate the brand. But one thing, the only reason why this story is being told today, the only reason why Dr. OJ, the med spa professor, exists is because I choose every single day. Even when I'm afraid, a lot of times I wake up, I'm like, whoo, how many people wake up and they break out in sweat? Or you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm awake. And you think about all the things that you have to face, all the things that you have to do, or the commitments that you have to follow through on. And the first thing that comes to your mind is fear, anxiety. I do that. But guess what? As soon as I come to the consciousness of being awake, I immediately just calm myself down and I step into my routine and the disciplines that I've set up for myself, the habits that I do every day: prayer, meditation, journaling, exercising, and doing everything that I need to do to ensure that I keep my mental, physical, my body, soul, and spirit together before I have to get out there and face the world. Now my media brand is growing. I'm doing more and more with my media. We consistently producing podcasts every week. We consistently producing YouTube. Now we're coming live on Wednesdays. We started this live consistently in January. I took a break for a couple of weeks and I was like, I need to do this live better. I need to figure out a way to show up on Wednesday just as professional, just as amazing as I show up on Friday. And then, boom, I have amazing people in my corner, right? And then now we have this whole production where we're able to be everywhere at once. It wasn't even something that I thought about. But the reality of the matter is, as long as you persist and you keep going forward, God will continue to put people in your path who are going to help you. You never have to do it alone. Those are some of the secrets of succeeding. Because the reality is the universe is made in such a way that an object in motion remains in motion. Because the universal law ensures that as long as you stay in motion, it's going to do everything in its ability to keep you in that momentum until you come against an equal and opposite force. Boom, that's physics right there. Y'all know I'm a science teacher. And then when you come across an equal and opposite force, such as obstacles, such as failure, such as struggles, such as different things that we all have to confront every single day, you only stop when you concede to the force that is coming against you, that it is stronger than you. But if you're able to apply more momentum to say, no, not today, Satan, you are not going to stop me in my tracks. Hi, Andy Brown, how are you? That force will never be strong enough to stop you in your tracks. That is how you persist until you succeed. No matter what is coming against you to stop you in tracks, to stop the momentum of your journey, to stop you from moving forward and propelling into the greatness that you know lies within you, you will succeed no matter what. It might take a long time. One thing I say is when I pitch my business, hi Shikari, how are you? Thanks for joining me. When I pitch my business to people, I talk about the med spa and I do this and I'm like, I would like for you to invest and partner. And I did that for a long time. And people say, and I realized one thing, and it came to me after, I got so many no's, so many people just not seeing the vision, not catching the truth about what it was that I was trying to do. Because guess what? The vision was never given to them in the first place. I realized that I cannot stop building what I'm building because people are telling me no. No means, okay, not now, not me, not you, not this opportunity. It just means next. It means keep trying until you get a yes. I had to learn that because initially, no used to hurt my feelings so much. I used to take it so personally. I've kind of messed up a lot of relationships just because they told me no. But just because people tell you no does not mean that they don't like you, doesn't make them bad people. It just means that they are not for you in that situation. Hi, why Bella? How are you? It just means they're not for you in that situation. So if you let them telling you no hinder you from going forward with what it is you're supposed to do, or allows you to disrupt your relationships, because in this life relationships matter a lot. Those are some of the lessons I had to learn along the way. Those are some of the things I believe that my failure allowed me to have a more, a bigger perspective about looking at things differently, developing more emotional intelligence. When you're down, when failure hits you, it humbles you. And when you're humbled, it opens up your mind to possibilities. But when everything is going well, hi Farouk, how are you? When everything is going well, you really don't see a lot of, I don't want to say you don't see, but a lot of people, when things are going well and they're riding high, they feel like they know it all and they've arrived. But one thing that being humbled and being broken down and failing and then rising back up has taught me is the fact that no matter how high I rise, no matter how far I go, I should never believe the hype. I should never believe the hype about myself. I should always stay humble and always open up myself to learning and being able to see people and see their perspective, have a high IQ, yes, be as intelligent as ever, but also have a high emotional connection to people, to social environments, to things. Have a high IQ plus high emotional intelligence. That way I can sustain myself. I can strike a balance in my relationships. And those are the things that will help keep you persistent as you go on your journey. Building a successful life, it takes courage, guys. Being persistent after people tell you no, after things don't work out, after you've tried, after you've run out of money, and maybe even run out of ideas, which is the worst place you could ever be. When you run out of money, and then you run out of ideas, jeez, what you got to go on. But you just have to keep your mind together. Continue to invest in yourself. Continue to build yourself up. Continue to do the things that keep you in a normal state. When things are not going well, in order to persist, you have to have an anchor. The anchor that I had while things were going wrong for me? It was the disciplines that I had adopted for my life, the routines that I had set in place. Those were the things that kept me grounded. At least I knew that even though my business was shut down temporarily, and I didn't know when it was going to open back up, and even though it did open back up a week later, that temporary moment of loss, I was able to focus in on my routine. I get up, I pray, I work out, I do certain things, I gather myself, and I leave the house. And I go to Starbucks. I knew that there was a place that I could get Wi-Fi. Of course, I had Wi-Fi at home, but I could get out and be amongst people. So that way I still had a sense of normalcy. That was a routine that I had. So I had something that could easily get me back in the rhythm of living a normal life and still being productive. So that way I didn't have to wallow in self-pity. I didn't have to wallow in whatever it was that, keeps people down. Hello, Witness Snow. How are you? Thanks, White Snow. I'm so sorry. White Snow 37. How are you? So that was what kept me, and that was what allowed me to stay persistent until I was able to get my business back up and running, and that business is still alive today. And that business is doing so much more, and it has done a lot, and it will continue to do so much, because the goal of having a business is, and I had to learn this lesson from failure. The goal of having a business is not really to have bragging rights, to say, now I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, I got my own thing going on. It's to serve. If you have a business and you're not serving people, you're not really doing anything. So when I reopened my business and when I had to start over in the new facility where we were positioned by the help of God, and I'm so thankful to the amazing Dr. Olusoya who took us in and gave us the opportunity to find a new home, it allowed me to not only be humble and find a better way to approach the things that I was doing, it really just allowed me to understand that, first of all, nothing good happens quickly. And when you least expect things to turn around for you, as long as you don't give up, things will turn a corner and you will get to your destination. It always works out. If you have people to help you, maybe you get there a little faster. And that's where relationships and networking comes in. But if you don't have anybody to help you, keep going. It might take you a little longer. You might have to do a lot more. But guess what? All of those things add up to developing the person that you are becoming on your journey. You're becoming somebody through adversity. You're becoming somebody through persistence. You are becoming somebody through going through it all by yourself. You're learning some lessons that you will eventually get to pass on to other people. So you have to persist until you succeed. You never have to stop. Even now where my business is, it's not where I want it to be. It's still growing. It's still like I'm still moving things around. I'm still manipulating and maneuvering and trying to try this, try that, and all kinds of things. We're pivoting here and we're bending there and we're trying this and we're going hard on this. So many moving parts, y'all, to building a successful brand and a business. But we persist every single day. We keep going because we believe in the vision. We believe that we will always find success eventually. That success is inevitable as long as we choose never, ever to give up. Whatever it takes. It might take a longer time for you. Some people say, oh, in 2 years, in 18 months, in 10 months, in 6 months, I made $1 billion, $1 million. That's fine. But if you don't have that good fortune to be able to have those types, hey, Beyond 630, how are you? To have those types of testimonies, does it mean that you're not doing well? If you stop for a moment just to sit down and think and just reflect on your journey and look at 12 months from before till now, and you start writing down accomplishments, I bet you can write down small wins, big wins, different things that you have really won at that has brought you to today. We're all winning in something. Nobody ever gets to lose all around. God is not a wicked God. Nobody ever gets to lose all around. Yeah, you might not be seeing all the money in your bank account, but your systems and your processes might really be good. Your customers might just really be so happy with you. You might have an amazing customer service presentation. You might have an amazing product that just hasn't caught on yet. Don't give up on it. Persist until you succeed. Failure only happens to those who don't keep going. When you stop, when you fall down and you stay down, that is when you have truly failed. That is when failure will now be your signature. That is when it will be on your forehead. But when you get up and when you fall, you get up. When you fall, you get up. Or when things are dragging and you keep dragging yourself and you pick up the pace. It's like when you're working out, they say, oh yeah, you do it heavy, high energy, high energy. And then sometimes you slow down. It's like, okay, modification. You do some modifications. It's like that in business. It's like that in life. There's some seasons when you're all high energy, high tempo, boom, 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 boom. And then there's seasons where you have to just apply modifications all through. You have to modify, you have to modify and modify and modify and modify. But the biggest thing that any trainer would tell you is don't stop. Don't stop. Never ever stop. Keep going. If you have to modify the run to a jog, jog. If you have to modify the jog to a walk, walk. If you have to modify walk into a brisk walk, do it. Take the modifications, but don't stop. Don't ever stop. Because when you stop, that's when you concede. Quitting lasts forever, but the pain of persisting through difficulty is only temporary, guys. The pain of persisting through the little failures, the little disappointments, all the no's that you're going to get, the pain of that is temporary. It's temporary, but the cost of stopping and just giving up, that is permanent. That stays with you. All right, guys, it's about 44 minutes into this presentation, but I hope that I have in some way tried to impact your lives tonight. And this message of persisting until you succeed has resonated. I hope my little story about my personal journey with my business, HD Pro Global, has connected with you in some way or another. And I really look forward to see you guys back here next week. We're going to have another amazing episode. Next week, I'm going to have a guest on here with me. Excuse me. Like I said, if you want to advertise your brand, if you want to talk about your business, you want to put your products out there, join me, guys. Join me. Every week on my Wednesday Live, I am omnipresent. I love that word. God is omnipresent, but social media and technology has made it so that we can be omnipresent as well. And on Wednesday Lives with Dr. OJ, the MedSpa professor, your brand, your product, your services can also be omnipresent in front of everyone, in front of all social media platforms. So connect with me, send me some DMs or email me at dr.oj@hdproglobal.com. Once again, my email is on the screen and you can get into my DMs on any of my inboxes, and let's connect and let's kind of do some stuff together. Let's, make new friends and stuff. Guys, make sure you share this video and like and comment on YouTube. If you're watching me on YouTube, no, it doesn't even matter if you're watching me on YouTube. Everybody, everywhere, all of my wonderful friends and family and fans and all the wonderful, amazing superhumans that have joined me tonight, I just want to say a huge thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys are not showing up for me, then this is nothing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here talking to myself. But you guys are showing up and supporting and loving and commenting. And I see people watching on YouTube. I see some on Facebook. I see some on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. Some folks came by, they left, but that's okay. But the most important thing is you guys are here showing the love and supporting me. I am so grateful. I don't take it for granted. But what I want to ask you is this. Just take it a step further tonight. Everybody, go to my YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Everybody and their grandmother and their sister, go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. OJ Speaks. Please, that's what you can do for me tonight. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my videos, watch, comment, share, and just join my YouTube community. And that would have made this whole thing amazing, because the value that we bring is to share and to help you guys learn and grow. And the only way you can sort of pay it forward and give us that is by just subscribing to the YouTube channel. Some free social digital currency. Spend that money my way and it will not go unappreciated. I thank you so much for everything. Thank you guys for watching tonight. I am so grateful. Don't forget to connect with me on all social media platforms and let's get together. Let's do some stuff together. This has been the Wednesday Live with Dr. OJ. And guess what? I'll be back next Wednesday. Yes, I will be back next Wednesday. This has been Dr. OJ, the Med Spa Professor, saying good night and God bless you.
Yeah. Oh no, oh no. She's old, yeah. So many of us got what to say, but we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out of the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's got the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like giving joy to the helpless. We sit and bringing life to the dream. Yeah, so we yeah, Ruthie, there's Abby, and she's yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. You're the voice we want to hear. You have the positivity. Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary.